Good morning, Ibu Ria and friends. We are from Group 9. I am Sania and my friends Pratiwi and Lorena. We will present our topic about guiding primary students with low attention span. Our topic about teaching and learning, and we will focus on guidance. As an introduction, I want to say that online learning still has many obstacles because the interaction between teachers and students limited by the screens, just like us by now. And it makes learning feel monotonous and there is tendency for students to be passive during the learning process. From our observation, we found out that students in grade 3 lack of attention. We found out that students did not answer the question and then students ignore the information that given by the teachers and then the teachers need to call the students several times during online class. The same problem was found by Wardani and Iriza. They found that children's attention in the online learning process only lasts for a maximum of 30 minutes. After that, they will look for other activities such as watching television.
The first sub-focus is the importance of students' attention during online class. So there are some issues such as irresponsibility with devices and also lack of physical presence because the students can turn on and turn off the camera. Also isolation feeling and lack of interaction because the students and teachers cannot meet in a person. And two dimension runs in the same time because the students have to join in the class and also in the same time do all of the tasks. And it can be solved by building good interaction. The next, the second sub-focuses is the characteristics of third grade students, such as the first, the children's practice to understanding and make notes in themselves without external clues, and also it's known as childhood stage because the children is ready for broader and experience. And then from the cognitive side, the students is learn about abstract and concrete operational stage. Next.
Okay, now let's find out about the biblical perspective on guidance for low student attention. Hill and Walton said, God illustrated that humans do not obey God's command. We, as a human, do not obey God's command. We don't do our responsibility as His disciple. But despite all that things, we know God promises it never fail. God promises it never end. He gave us Holy Spirit. He sent us Holy Spirit to help us to do the commands, to do the God's command, to do the responsibility that we have. And then in this online learning time, can we do the responsibility that we have? Of course we do, because Holy Spirit as our role model of guidance give us strength and help us to do the responsibility as Jesus' disciple. Next. Okay, as we're talking about the responsibility, this is also our third sub-focuses. Responsibility in the meaning of learning, in the meaning of school, is an obligation that students have to carry out their duties. Responsibility is also a process of experiences to gaining new skill or behavior by accepting all the consequences with full awareness and willingness. And then, if we're talking about the responsibility, what is the responsibility of the student? In the online class, we can see the student responsibility, and if they are using their time effectively, preparing the stuff before the class, also the participate in the discussion time, carrying out the individual assignment, also working on problems carefully.
Students need an education that will provide the true knowledge that help them to develop for better in every aspect. For our topic, we will focus on the aspect of responsibility. As a teachers, we need to develop the curriculum and teaching strategy to reach student attention, especially in the online class. Our fourth sub focuses is positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is a stimulus that is presented or that appears after a behavior that is reinforced with direct consequence after the incident. For example, is appreciation.
Okay, now let's find out about why it should be the positive reinforcement. if teacher providing the motivation, attracting student attention in the opening or in the closing time, or it can be both, it can strengthen the student cognitive structures. Why? Because if teacher give the motivation and give the something to attract student attention, they will found the teacher explanation will interesting. That's why they will pay more attention to the teacher explanation. And then the positive reinforcement that can be given by the teacher, it could be in the verbal or non-verbal. It could be prizes, rewards, sticker on Class Dojo website. It could be smiling expression, nodding head, clapping hand, or giving thumbs up. And positive reinforcement is a positive feedback that focuses more on improvement, not only about the final result of the students. Next. And Hasibuan and Mujiono also said the purposes of reinforcement is talking about to increasing the student attention, to accelerating the learning process, to generating and maintaining motivation, and then it also controlling disturbing attitude into productive learning behavior. It is connected with the second purposes. It's also develop and regulate oneself in learning and lead to a good way of thinking of a personal initiative.
So according to Komalasari Ganting et al., there are several steps in using positive reinforcement. That is the first, gather information about the problems via ABC. If ABCD means antecedent, it's triggered the behavior, and also the behavior can be seen in how the frequency, intensity, and duration. And then the consequences is what kind of positive reinforcement that we should give to the students. The next is choosing the desired behavior goals and applying baseline data on initial behavior, determine it, establish it, and then apply it in the class. The next, so based on the steps, the writer made a few changes and developed them according to the context of online learning and the characters of the students, such as the first, collect the data and information about problems through ABC, and we found it through the observation, and then choosing the behavioral goals that we want to develop, that is responsibility, and then choosing the right reinforcement, such as nonverbal positive reinforcement, how to establish it and determine, and then the last is the implementation of the positive reinforcement in synchronous and also asynchronous session. Next.
Teachers need to take notes that positive reinforcement is carried out during the learning process in opening, core, and closing. So we use positive reinforcement in our whole class, not only in opening or closing only. As a conclusion, considering the various aspects that affect students' attention to decrease, the use of positive reinforcement will not make students feel overwhelmed in carrying out all of their responsibility as a student. Positive reinforcement can also generate motivation to learn and build students' habit of being responsible for the information provided by the teacher.
And then if teacher give the positive reinforcement to the student, either in the synchronous or asynchronous time, student will be more motivated to take positive action in the class, because they know they will get a good response, a good reaction from the teacher. That's why it helps students to be more responsible, to pay more attention to the information that provided by the teacher. Okay, these are our resources. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless us.
God bless.
God bless.
You. Bye.